Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Inkbound developer stream. I'm Mark Cook, founder and CEO of Shiny Shoe, and here with me are our other illustrious friends.
Illustrious friend. I wasn't ready for that. Andrew, I go by Avram on Discord, online, once you guys can play. All sorts of things. Creative director here at Shiny Shoe.
And I'm Cami Jaeger. I'm the community manager. I'm Shiny Cami on Discord. And today we have something a little bit special. Mark, do you want to talk about that?
Sure, yeah. In addition to showing off some of our latest changes to the kind of core mechanics of the game, we're also going to be showing some new, never-before-seen pre-release, I guess, artwork, some of our concepts, and kind of go behind the scenes a little bit on how we develop some of our enemies and some of the environments, some of the things that we've seen in our announcement trailer and in some of the past streams, but kind of show our process and how we created those things and talk a little bit about their background, which I'm going to have to hand over to you, Andrew, because I am not the lore guy.
Yeah, that's right.
I like them. I see them. I'm like, these are cool, but I don't really necessarily know.
Fundamental important thing about art. Cool factor.
How much do you like it?
Also, hi, Morphball Michael, first time chat. Welcome to the stream. Also, probably a fan of Morphballs. What game is that? Metroid. All right. Sure. Well, should we pick it over? Start talking about some art. The best way to talk about art is to show you. Right, so what we're going to show you today is, this is the area you've been seeing us play. We're also going to do a little gameplay today. We're going to show you some of the changes, show you the game, do all that stuff. But right, so this is the area you've been seeing. This is the Garden's Edge. This is kind of the first region of the world. And just to talk a little bit about our world, these are, we're Inkbound, and what does that mean? You're stepping into stories, and these stories were written from ink using the power of quills. And quills, you'll see in game, it's this little floating thing that follows you around. So you as the player, you have a quill. Other NPCs do not, and this sort of gives you your power. This is why you're the one stepping into these stories, solving problems, what those problems are. We'll show you some more concept art of those problems here in a minute. The enemies you're fighting, they basically want to bring it back. They want to turn it back into ink. They want to unravel and take apart these stories that exist. And you're going to stop them. You're going to keep the stories around. And the stories are connected to the NPCs you'll see, which we're not showing you at all today. So just, for the future. Okay, well, should we, step forward a little bit, keep going through it? I mean, I don't have something so big to say about everything, but we're going to show you a bit more of how we're designing our world, how we're designing the art, the texture we're putting on things. We wanted this kind of painted style, this illustrated style. So you can see some of our ground texture in here, some of our tree texture, some of our concept art for our rocks and our bushes and our streams, which we don't really have streams, but if we were to put that stream in, that's what it would look like. That one's more emotional, Oh, good stream. You should put that in. All right, onward.
Yeah.
Right, and then here we go. This is that border between the ink turning into the story. So as you see us play, as you play the game yourselves, you'll see these borders of inks, the inky area surrounding these islands you're on and where the story is manifesting from. So this is that connection point. This bit of concept art was us trying to figure out what that looked like.
So the stories are coming, the land that you are walking on is coming out of the ink as the story is being created.
Right.
And it's not the other way around, the story is melting into the ink.
Right, no, it's being manifested. This is that raw, primal source for these. And then, we've got these unraveled, these enemies that want to take it back and tear it down. So you're going to stop them, hopefully.
So I have a question. Sure. What is sort of the iteration process? Because we saw a bit of that here. And how do you decide on one way, one design or one aesthetic versus the other?
Sure, right. Well, you definitely have goals. And then you're well, first of all, we know broadly what we want to do. And in this case, most of these have gotten used to some degree. But what you do from this is used as a baseline, and then we need to be well, what's gameplay like? We're doing this isometric view, what do things look like? So you got these side views of rocks, and they look very cool, but we're not a side-scrolling game, we're an isometric game. So you put them in, and you're oh, okay, we need to actually texture them a little bit differently, we need to have them read a little bit differently, and so you generally have some iteration once it starts going into the game, you have, actual people getting hands-on. Squeege, who's in our chat here, or Squeegee, I don't know whatever you go by, you should put a phonetic pronunciation, he's our VFX artist. So, for example, that border between the island And the ink, you have to do a lot of work to figure out, like, how do we make that feel like it's liquid and connecting? And, technology has practical limitations sometimes, so you sort of can't just imagine it. So you got to figure some things out. But this uses, like, are we hitting this target? So these are like targets. So like, oh, does it feel like that target that we've set through the concept art?
You brought up something that I think is interesting, and we often have to remind ourselves, or I feel like I sometimes do have to remind myself. So let me just talk for myself. It's like when you're thinking about like a cool piece of art, you really do have to take into account how it's seen within the game. Like, what is the game perspective going to be?
Right.
We right now are not like pulling the camera right into somebody's face to see the expression of an NPC or something like that. And so you can over detail something that then you could never possibly see from the game camera view. So you definitely have to think that through when you're developing kind of some of these things, because as you pointed out, you're never going to see the side view of some of these rocks. We're still concepting them this way to kind of get a feel of what they look like, but once they hit in game, they won't look that way from the game camera ever, basically.
Right. Doofus McDoofus has sick colors, so thank you. We appreciate it.
Well, so that I think that sort of leads. Speaking of sick colors, that actually leads to my next question, which is more along the lines of when you're talking to Will, like, how do you, like, this isn't just a forest, right? There's like obviously some symbols and there's like, there's some mention, or not mention, but like whatever the visual word is for, like, there's like ink going up the trees and stuff. So like when you're talking to Will, who's our art director, how is that conversation going? Like at the beginning or like halfway through the process?
It's always collaborative, right? Like we want everyone on our team to have like their points of view. So usually what we try, like the designers, when we're kind of creating these ideas, what we're going to hand off to an artist is going to be like, we want to also give them enough structure so they're not just going in blind, or they're not just making stuff up, because they don't even want to just make stuff up, because they're like, well, what does it mean? How does it, we're trying to make a world that feels coherent and cohesive. So you want to be like, well, how is it going to connect to everything else? And then, so usually that's the hard part as a designer. You have to imagine everything. You have to think about how it's all going to connect.
Yeah.
And then be like, well, here's how this piece is going to connect to this piece, and this is why this is the way it is. And then they're like, great, we'll just draw some pretty pictures, and it will look like, everything fits together. It's not just totally random. So you have these trees that look like they're coming out of that ink, for example, which is connecting. Like, we want to connect those ideas, even though you might be in the middle of a section. We want to keep that ink kind of connected thematically to what's going on. Or like these motifs or this groundwork. There are reasons in our lore and in our backstory. I won't get into that today. You guys should play the game. But there's a reason for those symbols to be there and that stonework to be there and things like that. And that will make the world feel more full and real, and also make sure we don't have to go back and redo things to make sure the stuff connects later. So it all kind of planned out. And that's why it's there.
So why start with a forest, if you don't mind me asking?
It's nice.
Okay, it's not.
Yeah, it's not too aggressive. You're like, cool, I can be here. No, that's one of the fundamental reasons. We're like, we want something that feels like a relatively pleasant place to be, because we're like in a roguelike structure, it's a progressive game. You're going to go much more dangerous, hardcore feeling areas, but we want the first one to be like, it's okay, I can do this, I can get started here. Okay. And then it escalates from there.
Very cool. Mark, what was the process like for you working with Will? Like, how involved are you in deciding about like the aesthetics and everything?
Pretty much not at all. I give feedback sometimes if I like things or don't like things, but recently, or have constructive feedback on things, I should say. But right now I'm much more focused on the overall schedule and pipelines and making sure that the right people are getting the information that they need when they need it to be able to move forward effectively, so that we can develop this game as efficiently as possible. Not the sexiest of jobs, I'll be honest.
Well, everyone out there's like, when can we play it? So it's very important to our players to be like, pull it together, guys. We got to get it out there. Well, can we hop over to one of our? We've got a few more.
Yeah, definitely.
I think. Right. So we talked about all those forces of no-goodery trying to stop you they're trying to kind of take things apart. You're trying to stop them, technically speaking. Right. So these are all sort of manifested also out of ink. They're trying to bring it down and pull it apart. And it's been fun to work on this enemy. We have kind of other ideas for themes in the future. So even probably the launch game is mostly going to have enemies like this, but we've got some stories we want to tell that have slightly different enemies. So again, living game, we have things, we have plans. But for now, these guys, all generally made out of ink. You can see sort of our concept process here. We knew we wanted this one to be flying. We knew we wanted to like spit things at you and be ranged. So there was some kind of this core design, and then from that we got some concepts, manifested it. We had to get, you take it from sort of this loose style here to something that would fit with the other concept art that you guys have seen already.
I mean, a lot of the enemy design does come from mechanical ideas first.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially as we're like trying to flesh out a wide breadth of enemies with different types of behaviors that they can do.
Right. And in the design world, we call it the two kinds are like bottom up design is taking mechanics and then trying to adding art to that. And then top down is like, oh, someone drew something really cool or had a really cool thematic idea or something that connects. And then we're like, all right, we'll figure it out. We'll add some attacks to that guy. We'll make it work. So we do a bit of both. A lot of it's been bottom up, especially at the start of a game. You're like, we got to have a guy who's getting close, messing with you. We want to have someone far away. You got to get to him. We have mechanics we want to add. But then sometimes you're like, someone just has a really good idea. Or like for bosses, we're like, well, we know broadly what they should do, but also where they fit in the story and what makes them special. So we figured out from both directions for them. So
very cool.
Right. And so we got a few more of these guys to show, I think. This is my favorite.
Probably.
Me too. Good.
Yeah.
Right. This one actually had more evolution. I see that we included some of the very early versions. Like we made this probably some of the first sketches we did of the game are these upper left ones. The game at that point, the art style was less defined by a lot. We're like, all right, these guys, they're round. Round was important. They got a mouth. They're going to bite you. That's important. And they're going to be small.
They're small.
They're going to be like little small guys. So that was which is it's stuck through all of these, but you can see it pulling together towards the game style, the cohesive vision there.
Yeah. Shaheen says ankle biters, and they are currently nicknamed biters.
Yeah, nicknamed biters. I think they're called bits in game right now. We're figuring out what exactly they'll be called, but yeah, they're basically always been called biters by us internally.
I know. I think these are the ones. If we were ever to do plushies, I definitely want a little plushie of this guy. Right. It's just he's so cute.
The ones in the bottom left are a bit cuter than the larger image.
Right,
They're
I think that's part of my variable, but yeah. Maybe we need a friendly version that you can hang out with.
So what was the process like going from? So you said the top left is like a very early design.
Oh yeah.
So what was the process between going from the top left to this clearly more simplified?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say these, you can see mostly were updated alongside the rest of the evolution of the game. Like, we just kind of did these before we even knew what the world looked like. We were like, well, we're doing some great Roxy prototypes, and we're gonna toss an enemy in there. And we didn't want it just to be like a little sphere totally, so we're like, all right, let's try to see what this might look like. And then and we came back to it later when we updated other things, and we were like, well, this just doesn't fit with where we've evolved our style to. So we brought it up.
I'm glad to see that other people also think it's cute. Alatoad, hi, and also just says cute.
Right.
All right, great. And now let's see if it works. Yay! All right.
We're using our little stream buttons here. Yeah. That's what we're wondering if it works, and it is working, which is great. Who knows what we could show you guys if they don't work? Right. So this is, I think, our last bit of concept art for today. This is a much bigger. So this is, we've got our little bitey enemy. We've got our flying shooty enemy. This was going to be, the one that is going to probably just fight one of these guys at a time. They're going to try to smash you. And you can see how this evolved. So we were always like, oh, it should be, we were thinking maybe a little lopsided. We wanted it to have this big, intimidating structure and posture and all this stuff. So got those little sketches of it. Got that big club. I think, now it's just using the more sort of primal, using its claws and attacking you and stuff like that. And then it has pieces of the environment in it. So it's actually been actively sort of disassembling things and pulling them in. And this is it connects, it's more connected to where you find it as well.
Interesting. You what are the mechanics that are tied to this character?
Right.
Yeah.
So this one actually has, unlike the other two, and you'll see it. We haven't fought this one yet in game, have we? Anyway, you might see it one day. You will definitely see it one day. But it uses an area attack. So we have things that can use area attacks that you don't want to stand in. Mostly more dangerous in multiplayer. More people can get hit.
It's in the Steam screenshots.
It's in the Steam screenshots.
So
might be in the, yeah,
you
right.
can see a preview of kind of what it does a little bit there.
And then sometimes it also tries to like punch you directly. It tries to walk up you and hit you. So this one can kind of change its behavior. And it will go between like smashing big areas and then also trying to just kind of get in your face.
That's really cool. Why did you guys, since we're on the topic of smashing, why did you decide to not have the big hammer anymore?
I actually don't know. Lost
Sorry, I'm asking not a hard question.
No, I was thinking about that too. I was like, oh, that's kind of a cool hammer. I'm not sure at this point. Someone along the way thought it was the right move. So sometimes that's just how it goes.
I mean, I really do like like you said, the environment pieces, like sort of melded into it. I think that's very, very cool. Very creepy also. And like, yeah.
It's definitely not cute. It is
I
not cute this time.
Not everything can be a cute enemy.
Oh.
Right. Well,
very cool. Do we want to show off some of the changes or like the game
go play a little?
Yeah, definitely. Here, let me just
jump on in. And I think probably, in the past we've kind of taken it slow, but maybe just you can go ahead and kind of run around and play, and I'll talk about what's going on. I think a lot of the people in here have seen the basics. If you have not seen the basics, you have questions, shout out in chat, obviously. We'll watch chat, we'll answer your questions. I'll touch on a few of them as we go, but then also just sort of assume, especially for you folks who've been around, we're going to hit and highlight the changes more and maybe see if we can progress. Maybe 2 battles, let's see.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
All
right.
Okay.
Live.
Everything changes all the time. So, right, here we are. We're at the start. You guys saw the concept art. One of our core changes here is we have a new way of deciding what you're going to do next. So you can mouse over these to see what they are. So we can either go to the Fading Troll, or the other one is the Fading Traveler. A lot of this is still in progress, so I'm actually going to suggest that we'll pick one, and then let's just kind of run through that section, not interact right now. Because we're still sort of working on this. But go ahead and click, pick your favorite. There we go, Fading Troll. All right, so you'll see that the next area manifests. You clicked on that. If you're a multiplayer, you all collectively vote on which one of those to do, and then you'll go there together. Obviously, you're playing together. So, and then each time you reach the end of one, you will get to make another choice. So these are right now we're calling them micro events. We're actually going to see it's going to be a white boxed area. So we're trying out different ones of these. But basically, you're going to be able to go in and get a little bit of a reward or interact with something relatively simple. So I believe that top one said locked treasure. So if we had a key, we could do that, or we still can. But strategically speaking, I would not suggest going without a key because it's locked. Classic locked treasure. And then the other one is a fishing spot. So
gotta love fishing.
You can catch fish no matter what. You're always ready for fishing. So we can go ahead and click on that one. Again, you're about to see sort of a gray boxed area, but you guys are, here to see a game in progress. So,
I mean, even the area we're in right now is not lit correctly, so it's
also
still
true.
Unfinished art.
Right.
Let's try fishing spot. Okay.
Not finding any battles this time.
No.
Battle next. So a little bit of fishy, so you can click that fishing hole, get a fish that spins, much like all fish do. You pick it up. Now we have a little interactable item there in the lower right.
What does that fish do?
Right click that. You can see some details.
Yeah.
And so if we consume it, we get +2 mana pool in the next battle. So normally we have a 5 mana pool. This will give us 7. It's very good. It's probably too good to be honest, but for now, blue fish giving you mana.
Let's eat that fish. Let's eat the fish.
Yeah.
There we go.
Plus blue fish.
Delicious.
And now we have a choice. We have a battle choice. Finally, we're going to fight something. We can either choose the challenge battle, better rewards, vestiges being rewards, or a normal battle. Just feeling optimistic. Great.
Yeah, right.
we ate that fish, so I agree. We should feel good about this battle. And here we are. We are in an area. We're going to run in. There is...
This is another unlit chunk. But,
Oh, they can't all be winners.
All right, so a challenge battle always has one of these buffed up enemies with a health bar at the top.
Right, exactly.
It's like a mini boss.
It's like a mini boss. And so normally in battles, you have to kill all the enemies and they spawn waves. challenge battles, you have to kill the boss, and usually additional enemies are spawning kind of constantly. So you have to deal with additional enemies while you're taking out this, and they have random modifiers. So this one's bomber, you can throw some bombs, like the one that's out there, and it's physically attuned. So it takes half damage from physical, which I think is almost all of our abilities.
Which is bad for us.
Bad for us.
This character class.
But double damage from magical abilities. So we can mouse over our abilities down there at the bottom. We can see what type they are. That's physical.
Physical.
That's magical, but it's teleport, so it's not going to do damage.
Physical.
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 Let's see what we got over here on the
Physical.
right. Elemental.
Okay.
So it's not weak, but it's not resisting it.
Okay.
Both elemental. So those are maybe the ones we want to try to use. You'll still do some damage. We'll still work our way through their health bar, but it's going to add to the challenge for sure.
So I'll probably start with this, right? Yeah.
You can. Yep. That's kind of a weak big area attack, which no, it's do a little damage to the enemies.
Maybe this guy.
That guy's pretty good, as I recall.
Okay.
Well, we check to see what the...
I think that's elemental.
That's also elemental.
Yeah.
And it's going to weaken it. I believe that adds Shattered, which makes you do additional physical damage. So we're going to kind of make up... When you shatter enemies, you can do additional physical damage. So
that seems like if those numbers just add together, that will have completely eliminated the physical attune benefit.
They might multiply, although, again, it'll still sort of work out. Anyway, math, once again.
I know, I was about to say, I'm sensing another game math opportunity.
You got to put on YouTube, though. Now I got to be careful what I'm saying. People are going to think, how am I talking about math?
Okay, what do you recommend I do next, then?
I would probably use your higher damage abilities. So that one's not going to do a whole lot to it. This one's pretty good. It's a we've also upgraded it. Ooh, I forgot to mention this. Abilities have upgrades. They all have. But we're adding rarities to them, so there's kind of a variety. You picked a common one. It's got a gray little circle there by it. So if we mouse over it, we can see which ones you added earlier.
Yeah, that was before the stream.
Quick.
That was before the stream started.
Well, if you click on this.
Yeah.
Mouse over. So
Right click again in empty space.
Oh, I see.
And then hover your mouse over the one.
There we go.
There we go.
So it has plus 50% crit damage. Which, hey, more if we crit, it's gonna be nice. So we'll see if we can crit with it.
Yeah, I mean, you need to move here anyways to get out of the bomb radius, so I think that's a good ability. It's a good ability to use.
That's a good point.
Alright. Boom. Okay, I got one.
Yeah, I got one. Took a little health off the one that we need to take care of. Also, what's our item? Let's go ahead and right-click that as well. So once per turn, deal 25 damage to the attacker on being hit. So when they attack us, we're going to do 25 damage to them.
That's a lot. That seems strong.
Okay, so I don't necessarily want to move out of the way of... Well, it's already such a big radius, so... Okay.
Is that something you changed yesterday? Because
it is.
It's a new tech.
Yeah, we have new tech. We have this once per turn. We wanted to make sure we could add powerful items, but because you can sort of like combo them in a lot of ways, we're doing a bit more with like limited times per turn things happen. So bigger effects, fewer times. Sweep is pretty good. Sweep's going to do more damage per mana than... Well, you also have an upgrade on Bonk. I don't know what that is. But anyway.
You can move and then maybe hit them both. It's possible.
Yes.
Try to collect that orb as well. Get some mana. Line it up. Get that mana. We still have 2 mana.
Make sure you're in the orb. It looks like you are.
Yeah, you're ready. So...
Keep on.
Wow. Mana chain.
Nope. Okay.
Okay.
Nope, you got it.
There we go.
No more. Okay.
All right. Turn over.
All right. So I'll let you sort of play a little bit. And I'm gonna take an eye on chat. So any questions from you guys? New folks, old folks? We're just talking about crits and math in chat. You know, I'm here for it.
There.
I think we're just gonna have to like work this guy down and hope that we can take care of them before they take care of us.
4 damage. 5 damage.
So the reason the damage is going up, we have a passive playing this class, which gives us heat.
Just hit the boss.
Every time we attack during a turn, we get more heat and do 20% more damage that turn.
That one does more than blocks, which is
right.
possible.
It's a good point, though. We should use it last, ideally, because we're kind of increasing our heat, we're increasing our damage.
Oh, yeah. Makes sense.
So if you mouse over that number that says 6 down there, well, again, I think
you got to right-click in empty space.
If you're selecting something. Well, we should fix that. 20% damage times 6. You know, you guys can do math in chat. I don't do math anymore. Pretty good. So, can make us do. We're up to 8 damage there. All right, we're taking this guy out. You know, a couple more turns of this. More turns of not dying. Seems great.
Yeah, I mean, it's a kind of not super deep, but it's a nuanced part of playing the game. It's trying to optimize your ability order to make maximum usage of these things that can build up across your turn.
Absolutely. And there's definitely 2 reasons, even if you're going to be guaranteed to win a battle, 2 reasons to optimize your turn. One is that this meter on top of the screen, the blight meter, whenever it fills, a blight occurs, and blights make all enemies stronger for the rest of the run. That's that purple bar. And then the other one is basically health. We're not taking a lot of damage right now. I actually think we might have an overpowered ability. I'm not sure where the shield's all coming from. We only should have 1 from our item.
We are getting shield every turn. We're getting 4 shield.
Oh, I think the passive on our subclass gives us 3. It's very good right now. Probably gonna nerf that. And we get 1 from our item. So, shield per turn, very powerful. Anyway, but you can take health damage. And health damage is it's hard to recover. It sticks around between battle. You're gonna want to not do that if you can help it.
No? Alright. Let's see. Maybe just this guy again.
Yep. Geomancer shield. Squeeze shield, correct.
He was talking about health damage. You could use that ability.
Oh.
Leaping Strike. I've used Leaping Strike just to get more damage because it's just a higher damage overall ability.
Almost got him.
Oh, you died from the item triggering.
Got him. Mission accomplished.
Sweet.
Okay,
Right.
we got some pretty good rewards. We beat a challenge battle.
We have no art for them.
We have no art for them.
But
we have art for like 3 of them. Working on it.
Do like
Cami and the Backseat Gamer Crew. That is true. The best this is the real multiplayer. Just have your friends sit here and tell you what to do.
Ooh, that'd be good too. Since let's. I think I might go with this one. Yeah. Here we go.
The marbled cuffs.
Nice.
All right.
Do we want to do another one?
We're in pretty good shape. That was good. That was
Yeah.
a good run. We did a battle. We showed them some of these new choices. We showed them a bunch of unlit chunks.
Nice.
So which Mark loved.
Including
More
this one.
right. Yeah. So I think we'll keep this up. We're gonna do a bit of variety every week. I don't know if we're ready to talk about what that is next week or not.
Probably next week it's going to be showcasing a little bit of a larger party group. So
Cool.
show what that looks like. Because I think last time we did 2 people, so next time we might get up to 4. So yeah, I am very excited about that. I love playing with other people. I think it makes the dynamic really interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Just as a reminder, if you want to keep up to date on like art and happenings or just in general, you can join us on Discord at discord.gg/Inkbound. Twitter is at PlayInkbound. Also, if you want to sign up for future beta testing, that's at inkbound.com. And also, if you like what you saw, or you just want to get a regular, more long-form update, you can wishlist the game on Steam. Thank you so much, everyone, and see you next week.
All right. Thanks. Bye.